Hey there, Adrienne Elise here. Welcome to the Gaia Daily for September 21st through 25th, 2020. How are you doing? Well, we are celebrating the equinox, the September equinox, a balance of day and night. And with Mercury in Libra, the sun moving into Libra, we're trying to find some balance, some harmony. Now, the main energy here is that Mercury for this equinox is in square today, exactly in square with Pluto. And then the day after the equinox, exactly square with Saturn. So really in square with Pluto and Saturn. They're at their closest they're going to be for this year since January. So Pluto is about breaking down these structures that are no longer serving us, and Saturn is about the old guard, the laws, the rules, the authority, contracts, but also about building structure and reality and time. And so Mercury is our everyday mind, like where we're trying to make sense of things. And this is the energy right now. And actually, it can be really good. Well, so what's going on is that with this exact square with Saturn is right when Mercury moves into its retrograde shadow. So we're starting a chapter here of the next 8 weeks. Very crucial time. One of the benefits of this Mercury in Libra has to do with desire for harmony and balance. The Mercury retrograde here is reevaluating. Mercury retrograde in general is like, wait a minute, I got to think again about this, right? And we're thinking again about everything and like all of the structures of our lives and this world. And, there's kind of a little good helpful energy here. I feel like individuals and the collective consciousness having a little crack in the delusional reality of the lower matrix and kind of being like, wait a minute, this just doesn't feel right. This doesn't make sense what's going on, right? It's like you can kind of pretend for a while this whole scenario we're in. And the deal is, the message around this is that we're living a pretty much fake reality because we're in between an old age and a new age, And so it's like part of us has already moved into the new age and part of us is stuck in the old age collectively, and the planet and the energetic frequencies, and that's why the SuperNova Soul bouncing around through these realities. But there's a very powerful energy here of reevaluating. And so Mercury going into shadow tomorrow, and then squaring up with Saturn. And, we're right here on this equinox point. And so Mercury will turn retrograde. It moves into Scorpio on the 27th of September. That's when it's going to start getting real. And then it will retrograde on the 13th of October and turn direct on, whoops, I must have written that down. It turns direct on the 3rd. Sorry, I knew that. I wrote down the 13th. So direct on the 3rd of November. And then comes out of its retrograde shadow on the 19th or 20th, around there, of November, right in time for Thanksgiving in the US. So this is a very powerful moment in time where there is an opportunity for the masses, the sheeple, to awaken. And this is why everything is happening right now. It's the thing that's holding us back in moving forward. And you are here as a supernova soul to hold that different paradigm in your consciousness, to exist in that world as much as you can. That we're here for spiritual ascension. We're here for spiritual awakening. That this world is fake, and when you're going to be in the lower matrix for the supernova soul right now, this is where this Mars, is retrograde. And then when Mercury turns retrograde, this whole thing. Mercury and Mars are our main action planets. And when they're both retrograde, we're just stopped in our tracks, is the feeling. But the reason why we're stopped in our tracks is because we've been walking the wrong path. And for the supernova soul, that has to do with playing out this role of your lower self in the fake reality, just this partial experience of who you really are. And so we have to take a step back and reevaluate everything in our life, literally the ground under our feet. And a lot of this, I've been talking about giving ourselves permission. And it's kind of like, well, finding those loyalty contracts, seeing, you're going back and forth between these different paradigms and multiple timelines and stuff. But, understanding that it's your mission here to hold this other vibration. And that's why we're here. We're preparing and moving in, bringing in this new age. And so we've got to hold that energy and understand, let the craziness in the world and the chaos in the world be your validation that we're living in a strange fake reality, because we're in between. The old has left and away. It's breaking down. It's got to break down. And yet the new hasn't quite arrived. And what if that's your deal? Just on a cellular level, on your vibrational field, knowing you have the codes within you and, trying, just basically moment by moment over these next crucial 8 weeks. Because, once the collective consciousness, once enough people, no matter what kind of mechanisms of mind control are going on right now, when, a critical mass of people on the planet are going, what is going on here? This isn't quite right. Now that's a hard shift, right? And we're seeing that in the people around us, because it's like, at this point, if you question anything for a minute, your whole world and your whole reality starts to fall apart, and it ain't pretty. And then you have to face the truths that make you sick to your stomach, and face we've been lied to, and face the narcissist reptilian agenda, and it's like, ooh, but this period of time, this Mercury retrograde is giving us this opportunity. I mean, it's there. It's like we're just so close to that critical mass of people questioning reality. And maybe that's kind of why reality has to get so effed up, So the deal is that for the next couple of days, we've got this moon in Scorpio. And with this Mercury retrograde, very interesting, as it goes to 11 degrees Scorpio, and then turns retrograde. 11, a very powerful number. We've got Pluto at 22, master builder number. 11, 22, it's about a portal trying to, create a completely different world, exactly what we're doing. And Pluto says, yeah, and that shit's got to go. It's the wrecking ball of everything that's not serving. And yet Mercury and Libra is saying, can we harmonize this? But then moving into Scorpio, it's kind of like, we can't harmonize it until we get real with it. The first real Scorpio energy we felt this year, which always, invites the shadow to be revealed, and getting deeper into deeper meaning, deeper truth, deeper passion, deeper connection, deeper. See, this is the deal where the supernova soul, you've been feeling so bad over these years because you are stuck in the too low of a dimensional frequency. And with people around you that invalidate that spiritual truth, and it's like it doesn't exist, they're trying to erase it, and so you have been working to reclaim back life, living enough of the fakeness, right? And so that Scorpio energy is kind of awakening that, Mercury moving into Scorpio, being like, okay, this doesn't make sense, and it feels really weird, and it feels really empty, and it feels really lost. And that's because our whole consciousness has been clinging to structures that don't actually have any form. And so this, as Mercury turns retrograde, that's again on October 13th at 11 degrees, and then goes back into Libra. And then when it turns direct, on that first week of November, right, for the US elections, it stays in square to Saturn for a whole week. So this next couple of days with Mercury square Saturn, we're going to feel that almost through the end of the week. So this whole week, the energy, the week days of this week, Mercury square Saturn, and it's a crucial time because we're getting downloads, we're getting clarity about what this next little chapter is about. We got an 8-week, very powerful chapter. And we're being asked to be 100% present in as much as we can, as we're going through our clearing and as we're going through our, traumatic past lives and timeline explosion and all that. But to be present with you are here for this, and it's so much more real than the fake reality we're living. And so let's be there. And again, the message is always as you go to the verge there, if you go there, you'll be all alone, because we're over here. You want to be with the sheeple. You want to be in the tribal, we're all going to agree in a bubble of what's true and feel so much better because we all agree with each other, and never question our what we're being fed, in the news feed, in our trough of the sheeple, So it's up to us to, in a way, it's almost oh yeah, for the supernova soul, this is going oh yeah, this is upside down world. And the only thing that makes sense is that there's something way more real. And there's a bigger, real, more connected part of you that's trying to land too. And know that these next 8 weeks is that reevaluating, because the path you're on doesn't fit the bigger, wider truth of who you are. So we got to stop moving. And of course, it's weird because on the other hand, these Jupiter, pay attention to Jupiter, we're just coming off the Mercury square Jupiter, but Jupiter transits every single time we get more powerful activating energies this year. This Jupiter kind of lingering in Capricorn all year, and just I don't know. It's like the Pluto combination, and it's almost like Jupiter's bringing the positive aspects of Pluto. We've been feeling this Pluto and Saturn, what we're doing right now, and just the laws and rules and manifested reality and limitations on our consciousness coming up against the, this destroyer energy, this breakdown energy. And it's that timeline war, and it's, our authority contracts and how humanity has given its power away to these, if you can call them beings. And over all of this time and our whole evolution, the main energy of this that's coming forward for the supernova soul has to do with the Aries energy being so activated, and the Aries energy is fighting for your life force, for your power, for your permission to exist. And that's been challenged for the supernova soul. So it's triggering all supernova souls right now. And it's about, if you've been programmed to fear your potency and your power, then a good way to deal with that is to let it leak out to the people around you. And to feed, ultimately then you're feeding the unconsciousness, you're feeding the lower matrix. And but then it's can you handle it? Can you really step back into that? Say you're living a little sliver of who you are. And then your bigger self, spiritual self, that has all this wisdom and knowledge and gifts and skills you didn't even know you had. And it wants to just step right into your body. And it's who you are, but your fake self feels more real. And then can you handle it? And is it safe? And are you okay? And, a lot of supernova souls feel like there's no other supernova souls around to valid. This is the thing. It's if they keep us all separate from each other, then we can never have that mirror reflection of validation of who we are in our spiritual purpose, And it's really important that we break down these barriers right now. A big point of all of the material in the Supernova Soul Tribe membership group. And, so that is the medicine, tuning into these souls and what is needed to take these crucial next steps. And this next 8 weeks, it's just a metaphor. This next 8 weeks is one big step, right? It's we got to hold back with the retrograde energy. And then it's boom, So very powerful time. And, again, let the fake be there. Don't get engaged. Don't let your energy go there right now. Just don't do it. It's hard because it's like the control energies, if you're aware of what's going on and they're right in your face being like, we made you all wear masks. And now we're going to come out and say that the masks don't work for it's not going to help you with this, now that you're inundated with arson, forest fires, and you can't breathe. And it's like, oh, but the masks aren't going to work for that. So if the masks aren't keeping out the particulate matter of the smoke, how is it working on the virus, And it's like, so if you're aware right now, it's so hard because it's like in your face, ha, 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 we're laughing at you. Look at how we continue to feed on your power and tell you what to do. But you can't put your energy there. This is this Mars retrograde. It's a different way to fight. You cannot engage. And we've all been here. As empaths, we've had to have a narcissist relationship typically. And you have to go to that place where you're like, thinking you can be reasonable, thinking you can talk it through, thinking you can make some sort of sense and come to some sort of, see, this is the Libra energy. If people are living real and being present, Libra has an energy of this higher level communication in relationships, finding a balance, finding a way to work together, and the narcissist is like, no, their agenda is to keep you down, keep you in their little world and to feed on your energy. And you can't get there, So the minute you engage, you just cannot negotiate with terrorists. And this is what's going on. Terrorists are running our planet, keeping us in fear and trauma. And enough is enough, right? We know we're on the verge of this. And what if it just means the SuperNova souls giving themselves permission to disengage from that whole drama and be in the new earth energy that's in the codes in your body? And as many moments as you can throughout your day to just grab a hold of that and know that when you're doing that, you're connecting with the powerful levels of light, pathways of light, the guidance helping us right now, and each other. And that's your job for the next 8 weeks. And it's beautiful. Like, what if you can, the more you give yourself permission to go to this energy, and that's where you find your people, right? So really potent time. And it's like, this next few days is like a mini bloom of the next 8 weeks, right? So by paying super close attention with these equinox energies, we can make the most of the 8-week period of time. And the culmination, it feels like, of the timeline war and the divine, organic, optimal timeline is gaining momentum all by itself. And then let's add some SuperNova souls in their presence to that as well. And we'll see you there. So maybe you can join me tonight, 7 p.m. in Mountain Time in the US for this soul group session, group intuitive session, going deeper into these energies, seeing what comes up for us, shared past life pictures, whoever comes to the call. And even if you can't be there, I know the time zones never work in every time zone, right? But we're working outside of time. And so when you can, just go ahead and watch the replay and you'll still get all of the information and the clearings and the healings and the contracts and the whatever we do, timeline alignment most likely. So that's 7 o'clock tonight. That's exactly 12 hours before the actual equinox. So we're kind of setting a vibrational energy, and that's why I pick these times. And so they're always different because it's just trying to find the optimal vibration that I can work with in this time zone. So thank you so much for being present on this light ship as we hold some sort of vibrational field as we in between worlds, and know that's just so much more real than what's playing out in front of us here. But love and care and prayers to all those being affected by the difficult times. And we hold you in our hearts, know that the SuperNova Soul part of the journey is this dark night, and many of us have had many dark nights, and we know we come out the other side. That's how we get access to our gifts, It's like you got to go through that wormhole. You got to go through that dark time in order for to make room for the light. And so we can understand this. And when you're not totally sucked into that energy, know that that's kind of a planetary experience, and we can be present for each other, in as we go through our cycles, because it's almost like that. It's like down into the depths of the squeezing and the box and the lower paradigm and all that. And then you break through, and, when you're there, you can be a great support for the souls that are in that, in the squeezing part, as we have these labor contractions and give birth to a new age. So wonderful to be with you. I hope have a wonderful equinox. I look forward to seeing you at that soul group session or on the next update. Until then, I'm Adrienne Elise. Namaste.